Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, you know, long before Saratoga was Saratoga, there was Ballston Spa. And I'm not talking about early 20th century, I'm talking about late 1700s. Think about that. And lo and behold, right in Ballston Spa, it's a wonderful museum, Brookside Museum. Now, I know many of you have been there and you haven't. We're going to give you a reason to go. Actually, we're going to give you a reason to participate with your family. And joining me today is the Director of Education for the Brookside, Anne Clothier. Welcome. Nice to have you here, Anne.
Very glad to be here.
Oh, good. Now, how about this phrase? Release your inner archaeologist. I think that's pretty clever, by the way.
I agree.
What Brookside is doing is part of their family programs. They're doing a week-long archaeological dig on the grounds of the Brookside Museum. This is fascinating stuff. So where did this idea come from?
Well, it's been part of the museum for quite a long time, and one of my predecessors came up with the idea, and partnering with Hartgen Archaeological Associates, and so they've been digging things up for quite a long time, and part of it was just to fully figure out what the history of the building is. Documents and maps and newspaper articles can only take us so far, and it was really wonderful to start finding these artifacts, these things that can tell us so much more about life long ago.
So you're saying that they didn't have cell phones or in 1790?
No, but
they didn't, did they? What did they have?
Apparently a lot of porcelain.
Yeah, that's right. So at any rate, I want to fill in a gap here. The site where the Brookside Museum is actually the original site of a hotel. And this hotel was world-renowned because before Saratoga was Saratoga, people would come to Ballston Spa for the waters. And this hotel drew people from all over the world. And very typical back then, everything was made out of breakable materials, punch bowls and dishes and pipes, you name it. And when it was broken, it was thrown in the trash and usually buried someplace on the grounds. This was very typical during that period. So guess what? There's a treasure trove of artifacts located on the grounds.
Indeed, and the campers have had a wonderful time digging up these things, and animal bones have been very popular, and they show signs of butchering, and there's cut marks on them, and it adds a little bit of an interesting twist to it, and then we let them know that it's sheep or cows or pigs, but it also is telling us, again, more of that story, what people were eating 200 years ago when they came to visit that hotel.
And brought some of the artifacts here, and some of them are very typical of some of the clay pots that you saw during that period. These were really done for storage.
Oh, yes.
They would store all kinds of things in these. Some poor little porcelain doll that lost her arm.
Yep, from the mid-1800s.
A part of a plate. You see tons of these kinds of things. And something that was very popular back then, and again, of course, in the 1960s, pipes. So they... amazing what you can find there. Now it's for children. So if you've got a child, know someone who has a child who expresses an interest in archaeology, and you could spot them. These little kids they're very curious about these kinds of things. This is a week-long camp where every single day the campers really conduct the dig under the supervision of a professional archaeologist, but they get to not only find the artifacts, but then they have to do research on the artifact that they find and then make a presentation at the end of the week. This is fascinating, Anne.
Oh, definitely.
Isn't it cool?
Oh, yes.
So what age groups?
The primary focus is 10 to 16. We do have a couple of younger campers that will be joining us this year with one of their parents, so to make it a true family experience.
Oh, I've got it. And now you've been involved in this for a couple of years now, right? What impresses you most about this?
I love seeing how invested and excited that the campers are at finding these things. Things you think today, oh, teenagers, they're only into their phones or they're only into this or that. To see a 14-year-old get super excited about finding this chunk of pottery or this sheep bone or things like that, or a button. We've even found coins on site as well.
Wow.
And just the sheer excitement and joy. And the parents also remark as well when they pick up their camper at the end of the day. They are really impressed and surprised about how exuberant the camper is. Guess what I found today?
Sure. Absolutely. And you know what? It's something with archaeology. It's really true. I forget there's a term for it, but the deeper you go, the further back in history you go.
Yes, the law of superposition.
Law of superposition. Yeah, that was just rolling right off my tongue, I'm telling you. And by the way, there's also a possibility, if you go there, that you'll get married and that you'll have a child. And the reason I'm saying that is that her parents met at Brookside Museum.
Indeed.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you're proof positive of what I just said. The camp is only 1 week. You have to go to brooksidemuseum.org. You can get all of the information there. And you know, if you've got the interest, or your grandchild or your child, you know it. You spot it in them that they have this curiosity.
Oh, yes.
And what a wonderful opportunity right here in our own community to get them to discover a sense of history.
Of course.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
Yeah, great, Annie. Well, real nice you came in. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And again, it's only 1 week. Monday, July 31st through Friday, August 4th. So you gotta move on this and go to brooksidemuseum.org. And you'll also learn about some of the other exhibits at the museum, which you'll find fascinating. Great, Anne. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. See this interview again. You can head to our website, looktvonline.com.